saying I'm just not ready yet is a trap, because the illusion is that you have something that you want to do, a vision for your life, and you think you project yourself into the future, and you think, oh, maybe you have like a big dream of something that you want to do, and so you think of that dream, and then you think of who you are now, and you think, I wouldn't be able to do that, and that stops you from starting because you think that you need to be that person now. I would agree, actually, I would agree that you wouldn't be able to do that. You, as the person you are today, wouldn't be able to do that. But you don't need to be the person, you don't need to be that person in order to begin taking the steps that will eventually lead to you becoming the person and having that life. It's actually the journey itself. The journey is what makes you into that person. So I would invite you to look at the dream and the journey and yourself in a different way. I'd invite you to look at it in this way, that you have a dream of something you want to do, and you are who you are today, and the person you are today isn't the energetic equivalent of that dream. You're not yet matching that dream energetically, right? Because that's why you have the life that you have today, because you are a vibrational match to the life that you have today. You have the life that reflects who you are today. At the same time, who you are today doesn't mean that you can't be someone else tomorrow. You're constantly changing. You're constantly evolving as a human being. You're not who you were 10 years ago. You're not who you were a year ago. And I would say you're not even the same person that you were 30 seconds ago, or an hour ago, or even one moment ago. You're constantly changing. You're fluid. You're not like a block of cement. You are fluid and constantly evolving. And so you can actually use the goal, you can use that journey to become the person that you need to be, to have that thing, to have that life, to live that vision. You can use that journey, because the journey will require you to change. If you stay where you are, then you don't need to change. If you stay where you are comfortable, if you stay in your comfort zone, you don't need to change. And so you can be the same person. And so if you stay in your comfort zone, 20 years down the line, you'll be pretty much the same person, except you'll look older. Whereas if you say, I've got something that I want to do, and yeah, it scares me, and at the same time, I really want to do it, and I don't feel that I can as the person I am today, then what I would say is that journey is your avenue to turn yourself, to transform into that person, because the journey is going to demand things of you that currently you're not doing or comfortable doing, or maybe even able to do right now. So it's going to require things of you. And actually the gift of that dream, like they say it's not the thing that you get, it's the person you become. You probably heard that. And actually you could say part of the gift of that dream is that it's such a strong desire in you that it will allow you to overcome so many obstacles that you wouldn't ordinarily overcome if it wasn't for this dream, for this thing that you want to do, for this strong desire, for this love that you have for this vision. If it wasn't for that, you wouldn't go through all the things that you would go through if you knew what you're doing it for. It's like Viktor Frankl said, a man with a strong enough why can bear any how. And so if you have a strong enough why, if you have something that really, really inspires you, then you will push yourself further than you ever would if there wasn't that impetus, if there wasn't that thing pulling you forward. So that dream is a gift, not because of the life you could have if you make your dream come true. That's a gift in itself also, but because it's leverage. It's such a pull. It's like a massive energetic entity in the universe that's got a massive, strong gravitational pull. And it's connected to you and you only. That's why you have this dream and not someone else. You have this specific vision that was given to you. Part of the gift is that it's a strong gravitational pull between you and it, except there's a bunch of things in the way, and those things are fears, self-doubt, limiting beliefs, the misalignment between your current identity and the identity of the person who would have that life. All of those things are kind of in the way. At the same time, there's still this gravity that's pulling you towards it. And at the moment, you might not be moving towards it because of all these things. And at the same time, there is still this energy pulling you towards it. And so you can use that gravity, you can use that pull in order to forge yourself into someone new, in order to forge yourself into someone that would have that thing. Not to have that thing, but actually because you'll turn into someone else. And of course, of course you want that thing. Of course you want the vision, right? Of course, because that's what's pulling you towards it. And at the same time, there's a gift that's overlooked, because how often do people think, like, we tend to think in terms of like, I want to have this job, I want to do this, I want this as my purpose, this is what I want to contribute, I want to have these things. Yet it's less often that we think, I want to be this type of person, and that's what inspires me, to have this character, to have these characteristics. We don't really often think like that. But if there's a dream, something that really inspires us, then we will move towards it. And in the journey, we don't even realize, like, fuck, I'm becoming someone new, because that journey, that dream is on the other side of something challenging. If you're watching this, you're probably not thinking of like, yeah, I'd love to do this thing, like I'd love to do it, and it's like so easy. It's probably like, yeah, I'd love to do this thing, but I don't think that I can. I think it's like unrealistic or like impossible or whatever. I just don't see it happening. And that's perfect if you think that, because that means that you have a lot of potential that there's a lot of potential for you to mold yourself, to mold your character. And that molding of the character happens through doing things that you think like, fuck, I don't know if I could do that. And because you have that vision, because you have that thing, that's what's going to pull you towards it. So I'd invite you to reframe those challenges and think about your vision and be like, oh, okay, so I've got like the sun. That's like the sun to me, and I'm a planet. Like, that's my sun, and I'm a planet. And it's got a strong ass gravity. Think of the challenges, the fears, the self-doubt, the limiting beliefs, all of that stuff. Think of that as, oh, so that's what I'm going to overcome. I'm going to overcome all of that. If I choose, if I decide I'm going after this, then I'm going to overcome all of that. And then think, what kind of a person would I be if I'd overcome all of that? The chances are you're going to be very, very different, and you wouldn't overcome all of those things unless you had that vision. So instead of thinking, oh, I have this vision that I want, but there is the self-doubt and the challenges and the fears, think, there's the vision I want, and in order to get that, I'm going to have to overcome all of these things, which is going to make me a fucking beast, basically. So think of the things that you're currently thinking of like as undesired and like, fuck, I don't want that shit. And think of that as like fuel for the person you're going to become. It's like you're like a fire, and these challenges, every challenge, every fear, every limiting belief, every obstacle is just like another log of wood that you're throwing into the fire. And every time you throw the log into the wood, every time you throw the log into the fire just grows stronger and bigger. So every obstacle that's in front of you to get to where you want to go, that's just another log that you can put in your fire. And you don't need to be ready to start. You're not going to be ready when you start. You're not going to be ready. That's not the point, because the point of the journey is to make you ready, is to make you into that person. So if you think like, yeah, but I don't think I'm ready to do all that, good, that's perfect. You're exactly where you need to be, because you're at the start. And that's how you're supposed to feel. Everyone who ever did something that you admire, something that you think like, wow, that's fucking great, that's a human being. We tend to pedestalize people like that who have accomplished a lot, and we think like they're cut from a different cloth, but they're not. They're humans. They're a human being. And when they started, there was a point where they too were thinking, fuck, I don't know if I could do that. I really don't know if I could do that. And they were doubting themselves too, and they were afraid as well. And maybe they spent a long time, maybe they spent years also thinking like, yeah, I'd love to do that, but I don't think I could. And maybe they were stuck in a loop also for a long time. And then there was a point where they were like, fuck it, I'm going to start. I'm just going to start. because otherwise this is going to haunt me. Like when I'm older, if I don't try, at least this is going to haunt me. Like, fuck, man, like I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to do this and I didn't even try. So there must have been a point where they were like, fuck it, I'm going to start and I'm just going to see what happens, because this is clearly what I want to do. And I'd rather try and fail than not try at all, because that's, what's the point? What's the point of life if you're not going to do what you want to do? Like the point of life is not to be safe. It's not to avoid risks. The point of life is to move towards that which you love. And it just so happens that a lot of the times that which you love is on the other side of that which you fear. So it's up to you to make a decision also. Like, do you want a safe and comfortable life, or do you want to live an adventure? Because an adventure is not always safe. An adventure is not something where you don't take any risks. That's not an adventure. If you think of a movie like an adventure movie or something that you really like, it's probably not where the main character is like super safe in their apartment and they're just like doing really ordinary stuff and not taking any risks. It's probably like, if you think of a movie where you're like, fuck, what a fucking adventure. That's crazy. Like, wow. That's a movie where the main character took risks. And you're the main character in your movie, and you're living your movie right now. You're creating your movie. You're writing your movie and you're acting in your movie. This is your movie. This life is your movie. And there is an end to the movie. So whilst you're here, why not just make your movie as fucking extraordinary as you can? Like, why not make your movie as good as you possibly can, in terms of making it exactly the way that you want it? So in closing, don't wait to be ready, because you don't need to be ready. The journey is what's going to make you ready. The journey is what's going to turn you into the person that you need to be to have what you want, to have the life that you want. So if you think like, I've got this thing I want to do and I don't feel ready, great. You're in the same position as every person who's ever done anything of any significance on earth. Like they were at that point too. So you're exactly where they were. And the question is, are you gonna push through that and decide to start anyway? Are you gonna decide to start when you're still doubtful and afraid and unsure and not feeling like you're ready yet? Or are you gonna just keep telling yourself you're not ready? Because ultimately the choice is yours.